I want to express my deepest gratitude on behalf of Stars Energy for the BOT's eco-friendly policy, Kokomo's continuous support, and the effort made to coordinate with the construction partners. Now, I would like to introduce a member of our construction partner, Houston Electric, John Hollingsworth. Please give him a big hand.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for being here today. My name is John Hollingsworth. I was born and raised in Howard County, Indiana. I've been a proud member of the IBW Local 873 for over 20 years. I'm the superintendent for Houston Electric at the Kokomo battery plant, where I've worked on this project for over 17 months. The Kokomo battery plant has been a tremendous opportunity for our local contractors, allowing us to double the size of our membership for the IBW Local 873. For me, being part of the union is more than a job, it's a career that has allowed me to build a better life for my family. My brothers and sisters in union labor know when unions succeed, America succeeds. And with the projects happening here in Kokomo and around the country, there's a lot of success ahead. I'd now like to introduce the U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Pete Buttigieg.
First of all, thank you, John, and we are so thankful to all of the workers who are part of this. We're excited about what this moment means for the good-paying jobs, the good-paying union jobs in the building trades, building these facilities, and then the good-paying union jobs working in these facilities. And I bring greetings from President Biden and Vice President Harris, who very much view this as a moment for creating those kinds of jobs. And that's exactly what we're seeing at the facility we just toured, really around the whole region. I want to thank Dr. Hiker for hosting us and the whole ID Tech Kokomo team. It's extraordinary to see how this institution has adapted so quickly with all of the needs that are coming your way and how you're preparing generations of workers to succeed in this manufacturing renaissance. And a big thank you to Yoon-jae Kim and the entire leadership of Star Plus, of Samsung, and of Stellantis, not just for today's excellent visit, but for investing in America, because that's what this is all about. Thank you very much. This is a real full circle moment for me. I've been looking forward to this one for quite a while. Because I am myself a product of the industrial Midwest, and more specifically, out of northern Indiana. And I grew up in a city that was covered with acreage of factories that had a proud past building Studebakers, but a troubled present, because by the time I was born, those factories had already gone quiet for more than 20 years. Even 20 years after that, when I was born, or 50 years after that, when I began to serve as mayor of my hometown, we felt the impact, both in terms of the prosperity that those jobs had once brought, and the pain that had come with their loss when America was not able to support that particular firm and its manufacturing. Which meant that also, as a young person growing up, every time I came down US 31 to Indianapolis for a school trip to the museum or a music competition or whatever it was, I had a sense of what it meant, that there was a very dynamic manufacturing presence here in Kokomo. Those two facilities, the ITP and the ITP2, on either side of the road, the jobs that those represented, powering the entire middle class and working class of this whole region. And I got into politics and public life in a fight over the future of that industry, working to make sure that the rescue of Chrysler that kept those factories up and kept those families in business, that was supported and that had a chance to deliver the future that I think then we couldn't have guessed in our wildest dreams would bring us to a moment like this. I remember when I was first making friends in Howard County and knocking on doors around Kokomo, the unemployment rate approaching 19%. And we knew that it could hit 40. if these companies were allowed to go out of business, as many were proclaiming on op-ed pages Americana did. But instead, something different. I was just at the Kokomo electric plant, formerly or engine plant, formerly the ITP2. Last time I was in that building, it was to be a member of the audience as President Obama and Vice President Biden came to celebrate the turnaround and the comeback. So it is thrilling, and I think a little bit poetic, for me to have the privilege of being here now on behalf of President Biden and Vice President Harris and this administration to celebrate the extraordinary work that's going on, the innovation, the job creation, the growth, and the opportunity that is at hand. You know, there's been a lot of talk that came to this region and regions like it over the years, but nobody in my lifetime has followed through from Washington the way that this administration has. And the focus on American manufacturing, American-made products, and American workers has characterized this administration and delivered big results. Under President Biden and Vice President Harris, the U.S. has created nearly 800,000 manufacturing jobs, which is, especially under the previous administration, we lost manufacturing jobs and experienced a manufacturing recession. But what I've seen here is not just the volume of manufacturing, but the quality of it, the sophistication and the advancement, which is part of why the skills of our union workers and the skills being cultivated at an institution like IU Tech in partnership with our schools is so important. And it's great to see the jobs that are being created even before that facility is fully up and running with the good building trades jobs that are going into getting that ready. Those jobs, and then of course the jobs that will be created at the facility itself, aren't just making batteries. They are making livelihoods. They represent presence under the tree. They represent education for kids. They represent cars and trucks in the driveway for so many families in this area. And of course, it's especially exciting to see how Stellantis and Samsung have partnered up right here in Howard County and in Kokomo. This is a unique facility, an extraordinary thing, but there are opportunities and good news announcements like this happening all across the country. And part of that, we believe, is driven by our once-in-a-generation infrastructure improvements, our insistence that companies receiving American taxpayer dollars use products and make products here in America, our multi-billion-dollar investments in the manufacturing of the future. Companies are seeing this, and as they prepare for that EV future, they understand that the best way to capitalize on that future is to invest right here in America. So far, we count 400 new or expanded facilities since the start of this administration, processing materials, manufacturing batteries, and assembling EVs. And those facilities alone are projected to create about 140,000 jobs. And just last month, we announced over $1 billion in awards that will support 11 factories across 8 states going through transition, including the other ITP here in Kokomo that's going to see new life and energy joining that EV economy. I'm also proud of how the workers and the companies investing here have broken the old false choice between doing the right thing for climate and creating jobs. This is what climate jobs look like. They are, some call them green-collar jobs. I think they're good old-fashioned blue-collar jobs. But however you want to characterize them, they are the jobs of the future. I also do want to make a point of lifting up the bipartisan group of governors, including Governor Holt, who have expressed their recognition about something that's already very clear and obvious to workers and communities here, which is that in the long run, electric vehicles are going to be remembered not as some front in an invented culture war between red and blue America, but as a front in a very real global competition between the U.S. and countries like China for the future of manufacturing. Building EVs and the components that go into them is one of the best ways we can secure these good-paying careers on American soil. And I know that the workers and the students here take pride in knowing that they are helping America win that global competition. Where China tried to gain a competitive edge in the EV market, we are working to ensure that America leads in building that electric vehicle future. And we're working in ways to make sure the Midwest is the center of it. I got tired long ago with articles that characterized our part of the country as the Rust Belt. Right now, we see the beginnings of the battery belt, with more growth to come for the balance of this decade and beyond. And again, we're supporting this not just directly with industrial policy, but with infrastructure policy to make sure that the supply chains work, whether it's the roads and bridges we're fixing, the railroads we're investing in, or ports, which includes not just vehicle receiving ports on the East Coast or container shipping ports on the West Coast, but places I was in earlier this week in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, at Menominee, Manitowoc, and Milwaukee in Wisconsin, where they are making supply chains stronger across the Midwest and supporting our manufacturing economy as they do. And this, of course, is a bigger picture. Part of the bigger picture is the administration is working across our economy to lower costs as well as create jobs. So I couldn't be more excited about the moment that we're in, the turnaround that a place like Howard County, Indiana has seen, the future that is in front of us, and the innovation yet to come. Because we are still very early in the days of the electric vehicle industry that will dominate the automotive sector for the balance of this century. And yet, we've already seen so much change. The biggest change to come to the automotive sector, really since Elwood Haynes had his vehicle up on the pumpkin vine pike here. I know the Haynes Appleseed Festival was just a few weeks ago. I wonder what they'll be thinking when we are 130 years from now. But we're not going to have to wait that long to see the transformation in prosperity as well as technology that is marked by this moment. So I want to congratulate and thank everybody who was part of this moment, because this is what America's manufacturing comeback looks like. Thanks for the chance to join you and celebrate today.
Thank you. We're going to have the secretary standing about here.